How do you read this? We saw Oksana Markova, the Ukrainian ambassador. She literally had her hands in her head in her hands. She knew it was going south, and there was no way to arrest it. Is there a way to arrest it even now, or is all lost? Ambassador Sajjan.
Okay, thank you very much, Gaurav, for having me. Yeah, you mentioned that this is, diplomacy being played out in the open. In my view, this is anything but diplomacy. I don't think, not in front of the media. So I think this whole business model of the two leaders coming in front of the media, and the messaging that it sends out, because even with Macron and Starmer, the manner in which Trump has behaved, not very complimentary to them. But I also will tell you, these things don't happen even behind closed doors. Behind closed doors also, people have to be very respectful to each other. That having been said, I think both sides made mistakes. And I would say that, as far as Zelenskyy is concerned, meaning he is fighting for the last 3 years. It's an existential threat that has been to him. Yes. So fine, niceties should be there under normal circumstances. You say, grateful, thank you, this, that, and the other. But I think this man is under pressure, under a lot of pressure. And literally, meaning it would have been bad even under Biden, but it has been made worse by Trump because, you start negotiations with Russia on the war without having Ukraine at the negotiating table, and okay, you want ceasefire, you want peace. Ceasefire on what terms? Meaning, are you going to sign away the whole territory that, Russia has occupied? The point here is that, fine, he should not have said all that he did in terms of, Putin, Hitler, this, that, and the other, because he knows how Trump feels about it. Yes. But using that as a pretext for J.D. Vance and Trump to lash out so mercilessly at him in full view, I think this was totally uncalled for. It was appalling. And I think the whole credibility of the United States in front of any of its partners, I think it was in the process of being destroyed. Okay. But the manner in which it has been destroyed yesterday, I think it is not going to come back. But your main question is going to be, yes, what is happen as far as Ukraine is concerned. Yes. And we've seen, the last sentence I'll give here, Gaurav, is we've seen the whole of Europe has risen, Australia has risen, everyone has risen to the, in support of Zelenskyy. How much they can really do on the ground, we'll have to wait and see. I think tomorrow is the meeting in London, which Starmer is organizing. We'll really have to wait and see what happens.
No, there. And that becomes extremely important, and I'm coming to that in the second part of our show. But Aviruk, what is it that President Trump said and J.D. Vance? That's not the truth. You don't have the cards right now. That's a fact. President Zelenskyy holds no aces.
Are you talking about Trump's?
Yeah, President Trump to President Zelenskyy. You are gambling with millions of lives. That's true. Your country is in big trouble. That's true. You're not winning. You cannot win this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us. Isn't that a fact?
I'll tell you, Gaurav, the problem with this administration in general and Donald Trump in particular is that his relationship with the truth is very, very tenuous, if he has one at all. Think of what he said the other day on this $350 billion of US aid. Untrue. Provably untrue. Okay. He then says that Ukraine was the aggressor and started the war. Untrue. One of the only things that happened today in this meeting today yesterday was that J.D. Vance admitted that Russia was indeed the aggressor. So nothing that comes out of that man's mouth can be trusted. And like the ambassador said, like my previous speakers have said, yes, the world has now figured it out. So the thing is that you don't call, first of all, the civility part, it wasn't even expected. Okay. And but the key distinction here between Zelensky and, say, a Starmer or a Macron is that their countries have not been attacked.
Yes.
Their countries are not, losing territory or not. And the other thing is that, and it was pointed out by Zelensky, these guys seem to just be spouting Russian talking points. Russia is pretty much close to, to having to turn off its tap because it's lost about 1 million people. So this is a lifeline for Russia.
But both sides are losing many
within
lives. Seema
Ukraine-
Sirohi, again,
Of course, they're losing lives. That's war.
can they
That's war
sustain
for
the
you.
war?
But,
Clear,
but you
do
know,
they-
the large, for instance, I have to make this
I
point,
think
Gaurav.
that
Okay.
we
Okay,
need
30 seconds,
a
Seema Sirohi.
reality check.
Aviruk, just completing that point.
Dictator.
Go on, Aviruk. 30 seconds. Go on, sir.
Yeah, I'm saying that this man cannot just sit there and say that Zelensky is a dictator, that he has 4% of support and
Okay.
in
But
his own country.
for the moment, I just wanted
Please
to
look
focus
at
on
the
what was said
ratings now.
at the Oval Office with President Zelensky sitting there. Seema Sirohi, you don't have the cards right now. Saying this to President Zelensky, you're gambling with millions of lives. Your country is in big trouble. You're not winning. You cannot win this. You have a damn good chance of coming okay only because of us. It's going to be very hard to do business like this. It's going to be a tough deal because the attitudes have to change. Obama gave sheets. Trump gave javelins. US has oil, gas, but rare earth minerals deal will take care of what we don't have. President Trump was actually speaking the ground reality, wasn't it? And President Zelensky unwilling to accept those ground realities.
I think he's right. There has to be a reality check. So there are three things that can happen in terms of ending the war. I think most of the world, including the Europeans that have come out on Twitter, rather on X, to show support, they are the ones, who've sort of used Ukraine in a proxy war against
Yes.
Russia. So let's get some basic facts right. Ukraine is losing the war. Russia is making advances. Both sides are losing lots of soldiers, but the Russians can keep at it for longer. Ukraine doesn't have enough men to send to the front, but Russia can still keep throwing people at it. So Trump is right that this war must end. How? There are three ways you can end it.
Okay.
Either the US can get militarily involved and send, bigger, larger, more lethal weapons. That it won't do because Trump is totally against that, right? And that is one thing if I believe about Trump is that he is actually against war. The second option is Ukraine can surrender and meet all of Putin's demands. That's unacceptable to Europe.
Yes.
The third thing is do a ceasefire and do this whatever midway space that Trump seems to have suggested, which got blown into smithereens today for really no good reason, if you ask me. If you cut out all the noise and all the, hurting of egos and who's lying, who's not lying, the basic point is an opportunity was lost.
Oh, absolutely. And opportunity
but
was
there
lost.
is still time. One last point I want to make. While Zelensky has gone home empty-handed, don't forget that Trump also wants to make a deal. It's not as if everything is over. I'm sure both sides will come back to it after heads have cooled, give it a few days, maybe a week, and talks will start again. Because for Trump, this is a very major point he wants to achieve to end this war.